Hey there folks, John here for Biddy Kong's Quest, and I know my voice is a little off today. My allergies have been absolutely killing me the last couple weeks. I'm sure that there's a lot of people watching that have kind of been experiencing the same thing. But I wanted to go ahead and make a video just because I said I was going to follow up on that Metroid Prime 4 trailer video that I made a couple weeks ago. And that trailer video did just extremely well, like way better than I thought that it ever would. Had some amazing comments down in the comment section. I love talking to you guys. That was really awesome. And honestly, it just seemed like it helped a lot of people, and it was interesting to people to kind of figure out how a video game trailer is kind of put together, or is at least supposed to be put together. And in light of that, with the Mario Kart World Direct coming up here in a couple of days, let's go ahead and do another trailer breakdown, except let's break down the Mario Kart World trailer that we got a couple weeks ago in the Nintendo Switch 2 Direct, because that's actually an example of a trailer done right. Like, they did a pretty darn good job with that thing. Is there stuff I'd change? Probably, maybe a little bit. There's a couple of things, but for the most part, it's a really good example of what kind of just a good, solid game trailer should be. And also, it's an opportunity to talk about the difference between a hype trailer and then a gameplay trailer, which is something that it kind of ended up, filling both of those roles for Nintendo. So I just wanted to go ahead and break that down. I thought that'd be a fun video for us. And again, while I'm working on other content, I've got a lot of external gigs going on right now. So these are things that I can kind of do in the meantime that it seems like people really like. And honestly, they don't take me that long to do because this is kind of something that I do every day and it's easy for me to talk about. So all that said, we're going to take a look at the Mario Kart World trailer. We're going to break it down. We're going to see what makes it tick, what makes it work, and how we can learn something from what Nintendo has done with this trailer. Here we go. Okay folks, here we are with the Mario Kart World reveal trailer. We're going to go through it and kind of see what makes it tick. So here we go.
Let's go!
Okay, so let's start there. So, like we said with the Metroid Prime trailer, I'm going to jog back here as I talk. Often we start trailers with some kind of hook or teaser. Now for this one, we were all watching the Switch 2 Direct and we kind of thought, yeah, the Mario Kart 2 is going to show up. I mean, that was the thing that they used in the teaser way back in, what was that, February? We kind of all expected that. But that said, let's just imagine we're viewing this as viewers that really maybe don't know that Mario Kart World is coming. If you kind of view it as a Nintendo, this is their first time they're introducing their game truly to the audience at large. This is a pretty good hook. You've got, this kind of like really pretty skyline. You've got a desert, you don't really have a whole lot that's identifying this as a Mario game yet. And you're establishing, again, that question in the viewer's mind. You want to know, okay, what kind of game is it? You're looking for little clues, looking at the art style, everything else. The goal of a hook in a trailer, just like in, we talked about this in the Metroid Prime 4 one, is to get people to want to ask questions and say, I want to know more. And I think this does a pretty good job of it. I mean, it's pretty shot, and then we kind of keep going here, and we kind of come down, and right about the time we get to here, you kind of understand, oh, I know what this is. This is a Mario thing. And then if you're smart, you probably already figured out, hey, these little things down here, these are the boost pads. Okay, this is Mario Kart. I know what we're doing. So we only spend, maybe 5 seconds here, just kind of in our little intro, like, okay, what's going on? But you look all the way back here and you're like, wait a minute. And then they don't really let you sit on it for too long because they kind of come down here. And right about the time you actually think about, start kind of comprehending and thinking about what you're actually seeing, they do this kind of thing right here. So that question then lingers in your mind for the entire rest of the trailer. What is it that I saw out there? Which they don't actually answer until later on. So this is kind of, again, the opening teaser. We're not into the Act 1, Act 2, Act 3 structure yet. So we see Mario, and then he comes in here, and he starts going, says, let's go, Yahoo. And then right about there, again, we're looking and we're giving our audience just enough of a glimpse of what we're doing to be like, oh wait, but this is obviously Mario Kart. This is the Mario Circuit over here, I'm assuming, or something. Mario Circuit, I guess, doesn't happen in the desert, but you guys know what I mean. It's clearly this is a Mario Kart thing. But why did we drive in? Why are we driving into the track? So you're kind of starting to get that world sense even here before we even start. And so we're kind of ending our teaser, and then we go into, we break into Act 1, which is, who are we? So when we talk about Act 1, we're really trying to answer one question. That's who are we and where are we, especially if it's a game that, I don't have any familiarity with. Now, obviously, we do because everybody knows Mario Kart. It's one of the most well-known gaming franchises, anywhere in the world. So I'm not sure who's watching this and not going to know, oh, this is Mario Kart. But anyway, that's kind of what we're going to answer in this first part of the trailer. And the first part of the trailer is usually 20, 30 seconds. That's usually Act 1. And it's going to end with a problem, and I'll kind of explain that in a minute. But let's watch this, and I'll kind of talk through it a little bit. Maybe we'll rewind. So we've got this, this wide shot of all the racers. Okay, yeah, this is definitely Mario Kart, and let's go. And so now we kind of are looking at Mario. Obviously, we've got the I love this nod right here, where we're kind of nodding to the Luigi side eye right here. Anybody who is familiar with Luigi memes kind of knows what we're talking about. And we're looking at, okay, yeah, it's Mario Kart, right? There's carts. There's like more ones that look a little more like cars. Because you got the little spoiler there in the back. But yeah, this looks like Mario Kart, except it just looks more detailed, right? Right when they power slide here, they're tilting over, which is kind of a newer thing. I mean, it kind of gave that sense in Mario Kart 8 as well, but it wasn't nearly as pronounced as this. And so we're kind of just giving the idea that this is Mario Kart. We got the motorcycles, we got the flips and the tricks, and yeah, it's everything you knew. And wait a minute, we've got something new here. So here we go. We've started generating new information here. So this is kind of the end of Act 1 right here, because we've answered the who are we. You know what we're doing? We are Mario Kart. This is Mario Kart. We've got motorcycles, we've got cars, we've got tricks, we've got, all of that sort of stuff. And then we're kind of starting to edge our way into, this is the end of Act 1, because we kind of know who we are. Now we're going to introduce what we call the problem, which is not necessarily a problem. It's just, what's the new thing? Why is this different from all the rest of the Mario Karts that have come before? Because there's been, 8 of them before this? What's different about it? Well, what's different about it? It's this. We have hovercrafts, and we have snowmobiles, and we have airplanes, and it's basically Diddy Kong racing. That's what's different. And so this is kind of a little transition into Act 2, and we're kind of wondering, this is cool. This world looks huge, though. We're starting to get into some of these landscape moments. So we've kind of differentiated ourselves a little bit. We've basically taken the familiar, which is the this kind of stuff. And then when you start with the familiar and then you add a little bit to it, well, this is the adding a little bit. It's like, oh, okay, cool. So we've got hovercrafts now. That's cool. We got like aquatic vehicles. We've got snowmobiles. We've got planes. All right, cool. But still, it's all fairly standard Mario Kart stuff. Like this plane could even be kind of like the gliders from the old ones. So, it's not anything new. It's just kind of a new little bit of information. But all right, enough of that. I kind of beat that horse to death. So we'll let this go. And we kind of do this transitional into Act 2. And before we get into Act 2 is generally our problem statement. So basically, what is the problem here, or what is the challenge, or what is it that makes this not the Mario Kart that we know? So we're starting to generate some of those questions in our audience's mind. About, okay, well, what am I seeing here? But we're not really giving us a lot of time to look at each of these things. It's kind of just little tidbits of stuff, just so we kind of get our, whet our appetite for what's going to come. And then we jump back down into the action. We got, some of the cooler carts and that sort of thing, some tricks and all that sort of thing. And then we grind into, we flip into, okay, now this is what's actually new. So what's the problem, or what's the new thing? We are going to find out right now, because Mario flips onto a rail and starts grinding, which, little do we know, this is like the tamest new thing possible in this entire thing. But if we keep going, we see he's grinding, and then, oh, holy crap, there's wall jumps, and there's a cow, and grinding, and the cow is grinding. and then new power-ups, and all of this other stuff. So what's happened here is we've slowly we've suddenly broken into Act 3, and Act 3 is what are we gonna do about it? So we've very clearly established, okay, what's different about this Mario Kart. We have lots of new mechanics. We have the open world. We have new characters that no one ever thought possible. So now we kind of have all our information, and it is now the end of Act 2. The end of Act 2 is basically everything comes together, and we kind of have all of the information. And now that we have all the information, all that's left is to know, what are we going to do with it all? Well, here's the answer. And there you go. And that's the end of the real trailer. Now, after this, we're going to go into the instructional trailer, which is also interesting. It's very unique to the video game medium. We don't usually see that in movies and stuff, so I'll break that one down a little bit separately. But if we go back here, back to the break into Act 3, one of the important things to know when you break into Act 3, you've got our information. Usually there's some kind of attention grabber at the beginning of Act 3. Toad growing bigger with the mushroom, I guess, here, which is kind of a new power-up. Has this been in a Mario Kart before? I don't remember, but it definitely wasn't in Mario Kart 8. And so you're kind of going into here's what we're going to do about it. We're going to use all these new power-ups, and we're going to do all these other things. As we go through here, you're going to notice it's ramping up in intensity, and that's super important for an Act 3. You really want to ramp things up, so you kind of go into the normal items, the stuff that we're used to. Yeah, it's Mario Kart. There's hammers and your coin blocks, and you can turn into a bullet bill, which the textures on that bullet bill look great, by the way. But now, wait a minute, we got to ramp up. We got to do a little bit more. And no pun intended, going into a ramp into a tractor trailer with rocket boosters. I mean, that's pretty sick. Like we're really amping up the intensity here. And then there's costumes, and not just a few costumes. There's like a freaking gajillion costumes. Look at that. So we have costumes, and now we're amping that up by quadrupling the amount of costumes we show Peach in there. And so again, we're amping up that intensity, and then we kind of break into the final stretch of Act 3, which is this kind of thing right here, where we've got just fire and planes and giant dragons and Kamek and whales, and then this massive shot of just going out, zoom out, or this like drone shot out to the massive world. And then when we see world, obviously our attention is on this logo, because that is the logo for the game. But then as soon as we stop looking at the logo, we actually look back here and we're like, wait a minute. And you see all these roads connected, and you can start to kind of get the scope of, oh my gosh, this thing is going to be massive. This is different than any other Mario Kart we've ever had, which is really kind of the feeling you want when somebody finishes watching your trailer. You want them to feel like, oh my gosh, I've got to play that. I think they did a pretty good job here. I mean, it's very well paced, and this is a night and day different trailer than the Metroid Prime 4 trailer, which again I've gone on and on about and won't do it again. But this is really kind of what a trailer should be. Is it perfect? Probably not, but honestly I don't know enough about the game, and we probably won't know until Thursday to know if this was like a great trailer that's super indicative and super representative of the game. But that said, as a hype trailer, it's pretty good. I mean, this is pretty sick. And I really have no complaints here. So I think that this is a pretty good one, and hopefully this kind of breakdown helps you kind of understand, what's maybe a little bit different about this one from the Metroid Prime 4 one. I do want to get into the next half of this trailer, because Nintendo does this thing usually where they do a traditional trailer, which is like a hype trailer, and then they immediately move into a gameplay trailer, or a kind of like a mechanic instructional kind of thing, which a lot of people are like, okay, it's kind of more like a commercial, like infomercial kind of thing, but it actually has a similar structure to other trailers too, and we'll kind of go over that here now. So moving on from this, we're going to get out of this, fade out, and then boom, we're into the gameplay trailer, which kind of opens on a bunch of just exciting stuff that we've kind of seen before, a little bit more, but some new items. And then we kind of get this first shot where we're like, okay, everything's interconnected, because we've got Peach's Castle there in the middle, and then you've got all these things all around, and you're kind of getting a little more context for that title card that we saw. It's a vast world. And we're kind of figuring out, okay, this is what's going on. And again, if we're doing the act structure, this is the what are we, who are we type of chapter. And he's saying this is races that expand, span this vast world, right? And so as he goes on, he's going to keep talking about, what is it about this world that's different? Well, this is kind of it. And then we immediately kind of break into Act 2. That's kind of it for Act 1 here. And it's going to go in and it's going to say, okay, what's the problem or what's different about this than every other Mario Kart that we've had? Well, here we go.
And in this Mario Kart game, you can go off the racetrack and drive virtually everywhere in this world.
And there you go. There's your problem statement. This is the singular thing that defines everything else about this trailer. It is the thing that defines Mario Kart World. You can drive virtually everywhere. Now, I do think it's probably worth noting. I think they did a really good job of communicating this already in the original trailer, in the hype trailer. But this kind of cements it in place, so we really know what we're dealing with. And I really kind of like this. I like this format for Nintendo versus the thing in Metroid Prime 4, which was kind of like this weird amalgamation of like a hype trailer, but also this kind of thing, but also talking down to your audience. The reason why this is not talking down to our audience is because I have already watched that hype trailer and I've already drawn a lot of my own conclusions. And so when he says you can drive virtually anywhere, this is answering a question or confirming a suspicion that I already have. You're not just telling me information that I didn't ask for. After watching that hype trailer, I want this information. This is not unrequested exposition. Unrequested exposition is basically a term that's describes when I give the information or the audience the answer to a question that they haven't asked yet. The Metroid Prime 4 trailer did that all the stinking time because they didn't really give us any reason to wonder why Samus had psychic abilities or whatever. Or they went the total opposite direction where they told us stuff that was obvious, like she can open doors with her mind and all that other junk. That's, kind of old news at this point. But the reason why this is different is because I was already kind of feeling like, okay, this world is massive. Do I get to explore more than the tracks? That would be really sick. And now it's confirmed. I can drive virtually anywhere. And this right here, this is the thing that kind of cements and drives the entire rest of this trailer. And so that's why it's the end of Act 1, and we're breaking into Act 2. And we're going to find out, okay, what's the problem, or not the problem, but if Act 1 is who are we, we're Mario Kart where we can drive anywhere. Act 2 is, all right, what does that mean? Like, what can we do with that? Let's talk about, if I can drive everywhere, how is that going to affect Mario Kart for me from now on? Like, how is that going to make this so different? And so that's kind of what we're going to go into next. So boom, we have Grand Prix. Now he's going to explain how the Grand Prix works. We all know how Grand Prix works, which, it's not a surprise to any of us. But it's this mechanic too, where we get to go between all the different tracks. And this is how that's different with the whole drive virtually anywhere thing. It takes the Grand Prix thing we're used to, and then we're going to talk about that. The next thing, Knockout Tour. He's going to talk about Knockout Tour, blah, blah, blah. And then, again, we're going to explain everything that's going on. Race nonstop through the world.
There are multiple checkpoints along the way.
Multiple checkpoints along the way.
Below the placement shown when you hit a checkpoint, you'll be eliminated.
Okay, and so we've got the problem, and now we're into Act 3.
All the way to the finish line?
Can you make it all the way to the finish line? This is the Act 3 of this little mini trailer, which I guess maybe I should stop that and point that out. Even these little mini trailers about each game mode are little miniature 3-act structures. So basically what's happening here, we'll get knockout mode. So knockout mode. Who are we? Where are we? This is knockout mode.
Race non-stop from one corner of the world to another.
Okay, race nonstop from one corner of the world to another. Cool. So this is a kind of like an outrun type of race where they're just all back to back, which is kind of cool. So now we know, what are we doing? We are racing one end of the world to the other. That's the end of Act 1. So here's the start of Act 2.
There are multiple checkpoints along the way.
So this is what's different about it. There's checkpoints along the way, and if you don't make it in the right place, you get eliminated. So boom, now we know what's the problem. The problem is you better keep up. If you don't keep up, you're going to get eliminated. And now we're immediately into Act 3. Can you make it all the way to the finish line? This is the call to action. It's what are we going to do about the limitation, which is, you have to place in order to continue on. Can you make it all the way to the finish line? Well, you better. And that's the end of Act 3. And now we're going to be on to the next thing, which is free roam. And this is where everybody kind of lost their minds, obviously. So we're going to drive around the vast road in free roam. That is Act 1, pretty much right there. What's the problem? We're going to go explore new areas and go wherever our heart takes us. Act 3, we're going to go with friends. So it's something that we can do. So the Act 3 here is what are we going to do with the ability to go anywhere we want? Well, we're going to be able to do it with friends, and we're going to be able to take pictures, and we're going to be able to do all kinds of other stuff. And then we kind of get into the final sizzle. So this is kind of a big cumulative kind of Act 3. And I would call this the tag. And there you go. We have the title. So that last part here, we're kind of at the end of end of Act 3 here. So if you think of all of these different little mode kind of descriptions, which again are all little 3-act structure things on their own, each of them, the Grand Prix, the Knockout Mode, and the Free Roam, if you think of them all as the cumulative Act 2, then it makes a lot of sense that now, okay, we know what's the problem or what's different about this. This is what we can do in this world. Now we're going to answer the question in Act 3, which is, what are we going to do about it? Well, you know what we're going to do about it? We are gonna race. And that's it. This is the answer. We're gonna, and it's a kind of an amalgamation of all the crazy stuff, the dinosaurs and everything else, which, by the way, that's totally a Diddy Kong Racing level. And then we're gonna wrap it up with everybody flying into the distance, and boom, Mario Kart World.
The game launches on the same day as Nintendo Switch 2.
And now we just given us information, and this, in this case, is the tag, or a lot of people will call this the one more thing. Everybody in who watches Source Directs knows, there's always the one more thing, which is the game that nobody expected coming or whatever. This, in this case, is a very small one more thing. This isn't all we're finding out about Mario Kart World. It's getting its own stinking direct, all on its own. And that's the tag, and that kind of keeps you coming back. The point of a tag is to kind of tie in thematically with whatever the trailer was about, and then also make it so that you're looking forward to the next piece of information, which obviously telling us there's a direct coming in 2 days, that's going to give us a pretty good motivation to want to get that information. Now, with the Metroid Prime 4 trailer, I went ahead and re-edited my own version of it, which, I think... I would probably go back and do a different, one more pass on it now, having had a couple weeks removed from it. There's a couple things I would change, but I don't know that I would need to re-edit this. I think they did a really good job with Mario Kart World, and frankly, I'm very much looking forward to the Direct, which should be really fun to watch tomorrow. So I'm looking forward to that. It should be great. And that is my breakdown of the Mario Kart World trailer. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Again, if this is something you guys like, this is really easy for me to do. Again, this is my day job, so I can break down every stinking trailer you want. I actually already would like to do a deep dive into the original Breath of the Wild reveal trailer, which I think is probably one of the best trailers Nintendo has ever done. So that I'm planning on doing that already. But since the Mario Kart World Direct is coming on Thursday, coming tomorrow, I figured I would just go ahead and do this now because I think it's relevant, and I don't know that I would go back and talk about this one after the direct. So it's kind of my window. So that's about it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you like this, please let me know in the comments. And again, I really enjoyed the comments last time. There was a lot of great discussion down in the comments. So go leave a comment. And if you think I'm totally off base, you are more than welcome to tell me that as well. So thank you guys so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, do all the YouTube stuff. Thank you guys so much for watching. It's been great to see the subscriber count going up over the last couple weeks, and hopefully we can get more stuff out there pretty soon. So I'll see you guys next time. Bye for now.